The night was deep, the air along the ocean shore heavy with salt and silence. I stood inside the restricted area of the naval base, a place where no outsider was allowed, but that night felt different, as if fate itself had brought me there. The Admiral's wife, Elena, stood by the glass door, something unusual in her eyes, like she had been waiting. The moment she saw me, her breathing shifted. In a low voice, she said, "You shouldn't be here, not tonight," but her tone held more fear than warning, and perhaps something else. I took a step closer, my heart pounding. I smiled slightly and replied, "And yet I'm here, maybe for a reason." A faint smile flickered in her eyes, as if my words had touched a hidden part of her. Elena slowly closed the door, and in that moment, we were alone. Outside, the waves crashed against the shore, but inside, only our breathing could be heard. Lowering her gaze, she said, "You don't understand. If someone sees us, everything will be over." I stepped closer and looked into her eyes. There was a story there, one no one had ever heard. "And yet, you didn't stop me," I whispered. She lifted her head with a soft, almost nervous smile. Maybe I didn't want to. In that moment, a silent connection formed between us. No words, yet everything was understood. This wasn't just a meeting, it was the turning point of two lives. As the night deepened, so did our conversation. Elena spoke of the parts of her life she had never shared, of a marriage built on duty, of a life lived only through obligation. There was a quiet pain in every word she spoke. I listened in silence, occasionally looking at her, trying to understand the emotions behind her words. "Do you ever feel like you're living someone else's life?" she asked. I nodded gently. She looked at me, and for the first time, there was hope in her eyes. "There's a freedom in your eyes, something I've never known." In that moment, I realized I wasn't just a visitor in her life. I might be a new path. The wind had grown stronger, and the cool light filtering through the windows cast a soft glow across the room. Elena stepped closer, so close that her breath brushed against my neck. "You know, I'm scared," she whispered. I took her hand gently and said, "Sometimes fear brings us closer to the truth." She looked at me, and in her eyes was a decision long overdue. She intertwined her fingers with mine, as if opening the door to a new world. There was no rush, no need for words, just a feeling growing deeper with every passing second. Her smile was brighter now, as if she had finally let go of the weight in her heart. Before dawn, I had to leave, but that night had changed everything. As I was about to go, Elena stopped me, that same light still in her eyes. "Will you come back?" she asked softly. I smiled and replied, "If you want me to." She didn't say anything more, just looked at me, but in that look was a promise. As I walked out of the base, the sound of the waves felt like they were calling me to stay, but I knew this story wasn't over. It was only the beginning of two women who had finally stopped running from their truth, and that night when she said, "You shouldn't be here," maybe she was wrong, because sometimes the most dangerous place is exactly where the heart finds its home.